and I'm just trying to figure out, like, really where this is going and what this is about. Just so people know, I'm getting some heat on Drama Alert. Like, why aren't you covering this story?
A, we're getting fucking paid a lot of money for this. And B, if you gamble, you're gonna lose.
We can't associate with them at all. We're regulated by the governments because it's all legal in the United States. So the crypto guys have to pay a lot to get a guy like Banks to jump on a jet, leave the country.
I've figured out other ways to make money. But today I just bought a $200,000 Sprinter, badass. I don't do that from selling t-shirts, dude. It's actually impossible.
Roobet, use promo code SteveWillDoIt. Shout out Roobet, they made it possible.
I've gotten financial advice.
Shout out to Roobet for making this possible. And the shirt gives me fucking good luck, look.
This and that from my two buddies, they've helped me out. So it's like they own Wizard. They own Wizard.
So what exactly is the Roobet scam? How are all these influencers involved? And why is SteveWillDoIt facing potential criminal charges? Because a lot of people have heard about the Roobet disaster, but they are still wondering what is going on and what is the actual problem. Because when you get a super likable guy like SteveWillDoIt to promote the shit out of your offshore unregulated crypto casino, aka a money launderer's wet dream, then people won't believe that anything bad is going on. Now Steve seems to be a genuinely nice guy. However, that does not mean that nice people can be involved in some seriously shady shit. We've seen this in a massive Save the Kids crypto scam.
Show me your wallets, but right now all the proof I have is that you made a fuck ton of money, Sam.
Linked up here, where Faze, also a nice guy, ended up doing some very messed up things and dragged in a bunch of his influencer friends. So check that out, it's a good one. But for now, let's focus on Roobet, and let's disregard the fact that the owners of Roobet also own Wizza, you know, the company from the infamous fake Ferrari giveaway, because Roobet is actually illegal in the United States, and not just in the United States, it's illegal in all of these countries. And what is so hilarious about this particular list is that the major gambling hubs such as Malta and Cyprus are on it, as well as a major tax haven such as Belize. And when you are too illegal for Belize, Malta and Cyprus, you know you're doing some real fucked up shit. In order to use these American influencers, Roobet flies them out to Mexico on private jets, where they get to stay in million-dollar villas fully combed by Roobet, and in return, these influencers team up with Roobet to promote their platform.
We have officially partnered with Roobet, the world's biggest crypto casino, guys. We're not f***ing around. It's the same spot, the Nelk boys, I'm pretty sure. The Nelk boys, Mr. SteveWillDoIt. We're gonna be doing some absolutely crazy shit over the next 6 to 12 months. We're f***ing cool with these guys. They f***ing love us.
So Faze Banks will have you believe that he's always 100% legit.
How were you guys playing in the States?
Months back, we weren't. We were getting jets to Mexico. We did it
Really?
completely 100% legit, bro. Like, I am as legit as it gets.
Now watch this same Faze Banks lie on camera after the Roobet scam has started surfacing online.
This was like a quick, like off-the-cuff deal that we.
It was kind of a one-off deal.
Kind of, yeah.
What? Did he not announce a 12-month deal up front?
Some absolutely crazy shit over the next 6 to 12 months.
6 to 12 months.
We're f***ing cool with these guys. They f***ing love us.
Ah, I see, my bad. You see, I thought you were,
I am as legit as it gets.
but it turns out.
Absolutely false, untrue.
Anyways, let's just skip past Faze Banks' creative memory for now, and let's go back to SteveWillDoIt, because if you watch his videos, you know, the ones he hasn't deleted, then you'll start noticing something interesting. Because remember what Faze Banks said?
Because it's illegal to do this in the US. Don't do this if you're in the US.
So this means they all know, including SteveWillDoIt, that Roobet is illegal in the United States. Well, this is SteveWillDoIt in Florida, and listen to what he says.
I won $30K gambling last night, and I'm scared fucking shitless, so I got us a private plane. Leave Florida. I won some money online gambling. Shout out Roobet.
So he won $30,000 last night playing on Roobet, but he was still in Florida, and apparently fleeing the state for some sketchy shit. So again, SteveWillDoIt is clearly gambling in the United States. Now here, you could say maybe he's in Mexican or Canadian airspace by now. However, from the video it appears that they flew from Florida to California. So looking at the map, that's not a very likely flight path. But if you want more certainty, here's another private jet trip, and listen to what the pilot says before takeoff.
You guys are going to Tampa, right?
So the pilot is flying to Tampa. Now fast forward to the cab ride.
It's downtown Tampa, right?
And now it's confirmed. Steve has arrived in Tampa, and what is the first thing that he does?
All right, so the private jet was $3,000 bucks. So right now it's going Roobet. make the money back. All right, 6,700 bucks. Boom, just made it back.
Easy. Let's fucking go.
Free private jet. But the thing is, oh yeah, if you want to play Roobet, click the link in the bio. But you just see how easy we just made the 3,000 back? It's like magic.
Yep, playing Roobet. So this might be the reason why SteveWillDoIt has deleted all of his gambling streams and videos, because not only was he clearly violating the Roobet terms of service all over the United States, but he was actually committing a crime here. You see, in Florida, participating in gambling is considered a misdemeanor, which is good news for Steve, since it only carries a maximum sentence of 60 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. However, in certain cases, it can be considered a felony depending on the involvement in the operation, and it comes with multiple years in prison. So the first thing that any lawyer would say, well, they wouldn't say it, they would hint at it, is to delete any paper trail of this alleged gambling, since it's clearly illegal.
Steve deleting all his shit, obviously that raises a red flag for any human. It's like, why are you deleting all this if you didn't do anything wrong?
So yeah, this looks pretty bad, especially since SteveWillDoIt is not just a random affiliate like the others, he's actually best friends with the owners of Roobet, and he knows what goes on behind the scenes. So if SteveWillDoIt, who thinks that posting this kind of content is a good idea,
Here at Nelk, we abuse our assistants. We fuck them, we boss them around.
Okay, this is bad.
I'm gonna pay a girl $50,000 to say that you.
if he doesn't want to be associated with you, well, then you're definitely doing something illegal. So at this point, it's very clear that Roobet is illegal in the United States. Then why are they using so many American influencers to promote the platform? Who are they trying to reach if it's not Americans, Mexicans, Canadians? Or are we to believe that Roobet expects people to just hop on a plane and fly to Mexico every time they want to play on the platform?
I don't think so.
Thank you, Jerry. So SteveWillDoIt, Faze Banks, Adin Ross, Ricegum, the Nelk Boys, and the list just goes on, all have international fans, but the bulk of their audience is US based. So would it not make more sense then to use Mexican influencers that are famous in Mexico to promote a platform to Mexican players, since they are the ones that can actually play on Roobet? Well, that would make sense if you're not targeting Americans. However, that's not the case here, because currently more than 46 million Americans own crypto, and within the next 2 years this number will likely double. Compare this to the only 3 million Mexicans that own crypto, and you start to see why Roobet is flying American influencers across the country and paying them over $200,000 each. For SteveWillDoIt, the payments can be estimated to be much higher than the $200,000 when we look at his spending.
We got Neil from Timepiece Trading, favorite jeweler in the world. But I bought 4 Richard Milles in the past, how long?
2 months, Steve spent $2.5 million in these trades, touching 3 almost.
So that is $3 million spent on watches alone in just 2 months. Roobet is simply using American influencers in Mexico to try and circumvent the US law. But unfortunately, they are failing miserably at this. We already saw SteveWillDoIt clearly gambling on Roobet in the United States, and all the other influencers are permanent residents in the United States. Both of these violate Roobet's own terms of service, and more importantly, their gambling license. This is a very serious violation, since either you are allowed to play as a non-resident and their terms of service is incorrectly formulated, or you are not allowed to play at all, and all of these influencers were playing illegally. Now you might ask, what's the problem with this? Because if normal Americans can't play on the platform, then there's no harm, right? Well, that's not entirely true. Because for starters, Americans can easily access the platform, and I'll let the guy next to Faze Banks explain how.
Because I heard it was a VPN thing. It was like, guys, kids, go download VPN so then you can say you have a different IP address.
Now you see, Faze Banks actually got mad when this point was brought up, but that just shows you that he's either very fucking stupid or just purposely ignorant. Was he seriously thinking that his fans were going to fly to Mexico every time they want to play on Roobet? Of course not. And of course they're going to use VPN services. Now for Roobet, players breaking the rules by using a VPN is actually a win-win, since they are covered either way. You see, Roobet is a gambling site, and that means that most people will simply lose all their money and only a small group of people will win consistently. And even a smaller group will win big and cash out. And when they do, they will trigger the Know Your Client and anti-money laundering protocols. Because withdrawing a large amount requires a full completion of the KYC and the AML process, and this is where most Americans will be exposed, causing their funds to be frozen indefinitely. In this case, Roobet does not have to pay them out. So you see, they get access to the multi-billion-dollar market of 46 million Americans holding crypto, while they can claim to be following the law. And if any of these Americans wins big, they don't have to pay them out. It is truly a beautiful scam, which raises scamming to an art form. Now at this point, we haven't even talked about the most shady part of this Roobet scam, and that is the actual gambling itself. Because there are multiple instances of influencers hinting at the fact that they are getting money from Roobet to play with. This would mean that they're not even using their own money when playing to promote the platform. This allows them to take huge risks, play like absolute maniacs, and lose massive amounts of money. However, since it's not their own money, it doesn't matter. But for the people that are being influenced by this behavior, it matters a lot. If you see your favorite influencer lose $100,000 in one night and you are down $15,000, you might think, oh, no problem, and continue playing. The only difference is that they can just call up Howie and get their accounts filled up, while you might be going bankrupt. When you look deeper into the Roobet scam and you start to see how shady the deals are, you realize how much of a hypocrite Faze Banks is for going in on Faze about honesty, morality, and greed. Faze Banks got paid big time for the sketchy Roobet deal, but he doesn't need the money. He's got plenty of it coming in from other legit sources, so it's not even worth the trouble. But somehow, every time there's so much easy money being thrown around, people lose their minds and are willing to do just about anything.
Cabo. This is the good shots, bro. This is nuts. Can you guys believe I'm doing that? I got paid $100,000 to do this, lost it in 20 minutes, and then made it back. And then made it all back.
Bro, cheers to fucking online gambling, Roobet.
Cheers to Roobet, boys. We wouldn't be on this jet if it wasn't for Roobet.
For real.